Yo, motherfuckers, what is poppin'? What is crackin'? Let's talk about sex.
Public Yemeni #1.
This episode is brought to you by Viagra. You should always have Viagra on you at all times, gents. Not only because it's, not only because it's a good backup plan, but I'll be absolutely honest, man. I think that condoms are important, and at my age, I am having a hard time enjoying sex or keeping it up. And the Viagra helps. The Viagra helps enjoy sex with the condom, because that's the thing, man. Like, as soon as I see the condom, that everything falls apart. Like, I'm just like, my dick's got a mind of its own now. You know, like, me and my dick used to be one united front, but now that I'm getting older, it's just like he's got a mind of his own. Like, as soon as he sees that rapper, he's like, "All right, bro, I'm checking out. I guess you're gonna have to break out your tongue, Mike, because I ain't doing this shit." No, we are not brought to you by Viagra. Nobody's sponsoring me, because nobody gives a fuck. But I did want to talk about relationships, sex, hitting on women. Getting women to waste your time. This is has nothing to do only with women, obviously. But I'm a heterosexual male, and I like to date women. And my experience is with women. Like, right now, I'm texting this girl. Okay, let's just break this down real quick. There are a couple of types of women that you'll meet online. And speaking of online, it's like online dating has been the thing right now. And I kind of have a problem with online dating. And we'll go over what I think about online dating and stuff. But let's just I just want to break down real quick the type of people that will, one, waste your time, and those that won't waste your time. And as a man, I think how you can actually speed up the process in meeting these women when you meet them online. And not only speed up the process, but also save yourself some time. Okay? Like, out of the women that I meet online, especially out here in LA, I noticed there's like two types of women that a few types of women that I meet in LA. One type of girl is when it comes to time, is gonna waste your time big time, right? She'll take forever to text you back, and seems like she's not interested. That type of girl is obviously texting a lot of different guys, right? So then you either have to be the guy that's going to be like, I'm going to pull out all the stops to keep you interested in this text stream, and I gotta keep you like engaged, like kind of like how when you play with a cat, you know what I mean? It's like you got to keep that laser moving, got to keep it moving, got to keep moving. Well, now it's over here, now it's over there. You can't sit there and just leave it in one spot, you know? And then they get disinterested and they find some other laser to play with. Laser. But yeah, you're going to get these girls that are going to waste your time. At least I get it. And to me, it's like right now I'm texting a girl right now, okay? We met a while ago, and I don't like to waste time during text. That's another thing. And this girl here right away, this is one of those girls that I'm talking about where I've already figured out with not much effort if she's the type of girl I actually want to meet in public, okay? Now, some girls are going to waste your time other girls are too quick to want to meet you. Be careful of those girls, because I'll tell you a story of a girl I hooked up with that was very quick to want to meet up. Man. So it's like, it's really funny. It's like, one is the girl that's going to take too long to text back, right? Then you got to get the one that's like, yeah, I can't wait to see you. I'm just going to say this, guys. If a girl likes you, she's going to want to see you. Stop playing the game of like thinking, oh, what do I got to do to get her to come out? Oh, what do I got to say? Maybe I said it wrong. You got to understand, a woman knows right away if she wants to see you. And if she wants to see you, she's going to move heaven and earth to make it happen. I'm pretty sure you've texted girls online and then all of a sudden in the middle of you like texting them, they I got distracted. Jason said, I found one trick that works. Stay on them, then start walking away. It makes them want you more. You mean text them and then walk away, Jason, is what you're saying? Like keep texting them and then stop doing that? I mean, I guess that could work. But my thing is this, okay? I don't have time. I need to make sure that I like stay on top of figuring out if this girl is somebody that I want to take out on a date and actually want to spend time with. And honestly, I don't want to waste my time with a bunch of other stuff. So you're going to get a girl like this one here, right? She's the type of girl who right away is going to try to get me to pay for a meal. There are women out there that are like, they don't really want to see you, but they're kind of, okay, I might give this guy a chance. And if I'm going to do it, maybe I can get something out of it, right? I have a rule. I do not take women out on dinner dates for the first date. I just won't do it. I won't do it. Because, I learned my lesson really quick, that you're probably going to run into some of these girls that that's all they want from you. They want to see if you're the sucker that's going to spend X amount of dollars on them that night, and then they really don't want anything to do with you after that. So this girl here, we texted on Hinge weeks ago, and we were having a very slow go at it. Like, I'll text her, she takes time to text me back. I've been really busy, I take time to text her back. And then finally, she gives me her number, and then I texted her on Tuesday, and I said, Elizabeth, it's Mike from Hinge, how's it going? That was Tuesday, right? I didn't hear her until today. Hi, Mike, I'm the worst, LOL. I have a good reason, I think. How's it going? So she's already playing coy, She's trying to play, I'm the brat. Are you going to take this type of behavior from me? This aloofness, this, I don't really have a straight answer. I don't know why things are the way they are, but I'm cute. Doesn't that matter? Right? So to me, when I see this, I'm already like, oh, this girl here is like, it's like she doesn't really want to meet me, but she needs somebody to entertain her and give her attention. Because one thing that I do know is that, and I talked to a lot of my female friends about this, I've asked them, and they said that sometimes they'll go online specifically just to get attention from a man so that it validates them, that they are wanted, that they are cute, that somebody does want to have sex with them, whatever the case may be. And then once they get that validation, they're pretty much done with the person. Right? And I think a lot of men look at that and they're just like, man, what a dumb bitch. What the fuck? She used me for my time. I mean, in some degree or another, aren't we all kind of using each other for something, right? Like men, we love sex. It's so important for us. Sure, we want love. Sure, we want companionship. Sure, we want someone that we can ride out with. But sex really is at the forefront of our mindset. And you cannot almost get mad at men for wanting sex just as much as you cannot get mad at women for wanting attention. Right? I think a lot of men get lost in the sauce and literally think that just because a girl needs attention or is using him for attention at any specific time, that's a bad thing. That's just a natural thing. Women do need attention. Women do need admiration. They need to be noticed, and I think as men, we kind of just got to be okay with that. We got to understand that, and we got to actually facilitate that. Like if you got a woman and you're busy all the time and working, and you can't even give enough time to show her any admiration or that you love her, that you care her, or do something cute like get her flowers, whatever the case may be, that relationship's going to be strained. She's going to end up trying to find that attention somewhere else. But women want attention. And sometimes they'll just do that. So when this girl here hit me up with this whole, oh, I'm the worst for not getting back at you, I have a good reason. And then she put that little emoji where it's like looking, it's giving the side eye. Like, I think I have a good reason. And then she goes, I have a good reason. I think. How's it going? So I hit her back. You are the worst. Should I give you another chance? Then I hit her with an audio message just telling her really quick, hey, I've been really busy too, so I'm not going to hold it against you. She comes back with, yes, I always have something going on. Planning ahead of time is key. But for now, maybe we can just text whenever with no expectations on reply time. Wink, smiley face, question mark. This girl's toying with me. This is the thing. Like, to me, like, right now already, I'm like, I'm going to expedite this process. So I said, LOL, I'll forget about you then. Let's try and grab a drink or a quick hike or something. Texting sucks ass. So to me, I'm giving her a call to action. You've already given me your number. We've already matched each other online. We're both kind of under the impression that we find each other attractive, right? So I would only assume that after we kind of have a quick back and forth and understanding, let's see if we can kind of get to know each other. Maybe we can go on a hike. Maybe we can grab some coffee. Maybe we can do something in person. That's usually what I like to do. I try to do that first because putting a call to action in these like online dating encounters for a man will really gauge if this girl is serious or not, because maybe she just wants to use you for attention, right? So basically she's saying, I'll read what she said, and she goes, oh, I'm very busy or whatever, but for now, maybe we can text whenever with no expectations on reply time. So basically she's saying, am I cute enough and are you a loser enough to toy with me and give me all the attention I need via text for an ungiven amount of time? It could be going on forever. I may not reply for a year, but will you reply back? Right? So then I get back with her, and what I just said, I said, nah, by then I'll forget about you. Let's try to get a quick hike or something like that. Texting sucks. Call to action. Then she hits me with this. I knew this was coming. Or dinner one night? Or dinner one night? Guys, this is like textbook. I've seen shit like this all the fucking time. I'm texting her right now, but I pretty much ended the text right now with her because I dropped the bomb on her. So I told her, I said, slow down. I'll feed you only after I know I like you. She goes, oh, LOL, that's weird. And I go, makes sense, right? Why would I feed someone I might not like? I go, let's at least FaceTime first. She goes, so no text, no dinner, but FaceTime is okay? And I go, I'm saying text is drawn out and it's hard to see if we like each other. Faster read in person or FaceTime, meaning it's faster to read you or each other in person or on FaceTime. And she goes, it's a bit complicated. Maybe let's not. Winky face. As far as I'm concerned, I won. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I know some guys would drag this on forever, play the long game in hopes that this girl will finally show up or see him in person, only to coax him into a dinner, and then after the dinner, she ghosts you. Fuck that. This is how you do it, as far as I'm concerned. I barely wasted any time on this. I got straight to the point. She didn't text me. I texted her Tuesday. She texted me today. And then I got it done in like 5 minutes. I knew exactly what she wanted. And I'm just not going to give it to her because that's not what I want. I want to know if you're cool. Then there's this other girl that I'm talking to. And she seems pretty cool. And finally, in the middle of us just texting right now, I said, hey, are you cool to FaceTime in an hour? And she goes, not cool, I'm at work. And I like to FaceTime. You can call me after I'm done with work. Now, this is a girl right here that is, you know, she's going to make things happen to want to meet up with me. Even when I was talking to her from the get-go, we were already clicking. And that's just my thing. When it comes to dating right now, man, and I've been dating a lot. I've been single for a very long time. Like, I'll give you guys a little background story of why I'm still single. First off, you know, my parents, terrible marriage, divorced, but only divorced after I've already joined the Marine Corps. They stuck together just for the children, which is stupid. And then in the end, all that ends up doing is making someone like me go, well, man, I don't know if I'm like really cool with just getting into another relationship. Or just like that, I'm very, you know, going to just jump into one real quick. So I'm very skeptical and I like to pay attention. And then not to mention, if you think about it, I ended up having a relationship with this girl in my 20s when I got out of the Marine Corps for about 9 years. So I was Mr. Monogamous for the majority of my 20s. I grew up Yemeni. I grew up, Muslim, not super strict Muslim, but my parents were pretty Muslim. And, you know, I kind of grew up with this idea that, you know, you find one woman and you're with that one woman. And I've done that, you know, for the majority of my youth in my 20s, especially. I was very, very much into monogamous relationships. I was what you would call a serial monogamous. I would go from one monogamous relationship to another fucking one. So like as soon as I broke up with a girl, I could not stand being alone, that I would have to search for my next girlfriend. And then I'd find her. And then when I find her, I hold on to her. Even though she has all these flaws or whatever, I'm not paying attention to that stuff. Because as much as that girl that was texting me wants attention, I was too afraid to be alone. I wanted companionship. I wanted someone to be there with me. I didn't feel complete if I didn't have a girl with me. Not only that, at that young age, I also didn't have an abundance mentality. I was one of those guys that was kind of insecure in my 20s, where I would meet a girl and I would think this would be the last girl I'm ever going to get. She's so beautiful. The sex is great. I need sex all the time. I'm young, horny. If I break up with this girl, how easy is it for me to find another girl? Probably not that easy. That's that defeatist mentality that I had, you know? So I was in a relationship for 9 years with this girl. She had 2 kids. One of them was disabled. He had autism and Down syndrome. So, you know, that didn't make it that much easier. But, you know, it was pretty good. Like she was really good with raising her kids. She was really good with making sure that, you know, she had her kids and I didn't have to. It wasn't like she needed me there to take care of her kids. She ran her own business, whatever. We were together for 9 years, okay? That relationship blew up in my face. As soon as that relationship blew up in my face, I was really heartbroken because I invested a long time with this woman. Now I'm like 33, 34. single again, just started losing my hair. Now I gotta fucking shave it and go bald. And I was kind of fat too, so it was like, ugh, bro, I look like Jabba the Hutt. And it was gross. And I was very unsure of myself. But you know what I did do though? I did take the advice of some of my friends like Jamie Moyer and my friend Ramsey Silmy, who these are some of the friends that I could confide in when my heart was broken. These people were really good at understanding people and understanding relationships, and they gave very good sound advice. And even Ramsey gave me good advice. He told me, he goes, I don't think you're ready for a relationship, Mike. You really need to just be alone for a while. And he told me, he's like, just be single. Try to enjoy that. Try to enjoy being single. Try to enjoy dating women without the need to string them up into a relationship. And I started doing that. I started going, you know what? I'm going to start focusing on just telling women straight up where I am in my life, and that do not expect a relationship from me. That all I want is, and I was really honest with women. I would tell them, I'm like, listen, I just got out of a 9-year relationship. I find you attractive. I like you as a person. I like spending time with you. I'm hoping we can do this, but without the need of it being in a relationship. Some women would be like, yeah. Other women would be like, no. And the thing is that I learned to just deal with it. Deal with the L. Deal with the loss. If the girl is not gonna be down with just casual sex or a casual relationship, then, I'm just gonna have to deal with that loss of her saying, nope, I don't want that, bye. Other guys would do this, and mind you, I actually did do this like in my early 20s, because you were just so young and you wanted sex, where you would tell the girl anything. You'd be like, yes, I love you. Yes, I care about you. Yes, I want to, do the marriage thing. I want to have kids. And then like deep down, you're like, not really. You just want to have sex. You just want steady sex, especially in your 20s. It's like the only thing that you can think of, right? Is just sex. Then I had to learn that like it was important to be honest with the women. To me, I thought it was very honest, and it's kind of hard for some men to do that, right? Because like if you were to meet a girl, let's say you hooked up and you guys kind of got along, and you can tell you guys are kind of getting along, and the sex is good, company's good, but you don't want a relationship, right? You risk losing the girl if you outright tell her, hey, I don't want a relationship with you. I only want sex. I only want to spend time with you. Can we be friends with benefits? Right? You risk the girl going, ugh, no, I'm not doing that. And then that's it. Now you're never going to see that girl, right? That's why I think some guys do resort to lying and pretending to be this thing that the girl wants, so that they could keep her around, so that they can get what they want from her, which is just sex and, some type of companionship without any strings. And that's not fair to the girl. And what I found is that the more honest I was to women in terms of what I wanted in my life and what I wanted when it came to sex, I started to find out that the girls that did say yes, man, I would have just such a great time. Because it was already like some of these girls would come out of like relationships too, where I would be like, hey, this is the deal. This is what I want. And they would go, thank God, because that's kind of what I want too. And you're like, yo, this is great. This is great. But, to me, that's a little background of why I've been single for so long, Like I said earlier, just to recap, my parents had a terrible marriage, fought all the time, should have divorced when I was young, instead stuck around for the kids so me and my sister can watch this terrible marriage unfold in front of us, which makes me very skeptical about who I get into a relationship with, which I think is a very positive thing, because I'm very, very, I'm very careful about who I get into a relationship with. But at the same time, I think I might be a little too over analytical now. I think I might be thinking a little too much in terms of like, is this person right for me or is this person wrong for me? So, terrible marriage, watching my mom and dad having a terrible marriage. Then I get into a 9-year relationship in my 20s, completely monogamous with this girl for 9 years. That blows up in my face. And then I realize, you know what? It's time for me to be a slut. It's time for me to play the field. It's time for me to go against the grain of what I'm used to, and that is getting a girl to get into a relationship with me. Now I'm just going to do something that's hard, and that is meet a girl. I like this girl, and then give her the lowdown. This is what I want. I don't want a relationship. Just got out of one. I want casual sex and a friend. And see what happens. And you'd be surprised, that like there are a lot of women that you will meet if you take the chance to do that would agree to that. Now, the problem is that I found out that a lot of the women that did agree, which made it easier on me, they were lying to themselves. So here I am talking about how, you shouldn't lie to the girl like some guys do just to keep her around for sex, to make her think that you love her, to make her all that, which I say is wrong. You shouldn't do that. So I go the route of being honest. I'm just going to tell the girl what I want, and then I'm going to see what happens from there. And then what I found out is since I'm telling the truth, now they're doing the lying. They're lying to themselves. So a lot of them, I hate to say a lot, but almost all of them in the end wanted a relationship, or they agreed to keep it casual. And then as time went on, they wanted more, but then they still played along with the game, with the agreement that I've set up at the top. And they go along, but deep down they're resentful because they're like, I want a relationship with this guy, and I can't just tell him that because I've already agreed that I didn't want a relationship with this guy. And that, to me, was really interesting. But at the same time, I don't think that's a bad thing also. I think that as men, we got to realize women are emotional. Not all women are like this, but a lot of women are, and I'm not saying emotional in a bad way. I mean, in a beautiful way. They are more in touch with their emotions. So it would make sense that, not many women are capable of keeping a friends with benefits relationship going on for too long. And if they do, a lot of them will lie to themselves to keep it going because they still like you. They enjoy their time with you. They enjoy the sex. And they don't want to lose you by telling you the truth. Hey, I want more from this. So it's really, really interesting how this actually does pan out. I have had a handful of girls, don't get me wrong, that were just straight up. They were cool with just, hooking up every once in a while. And that's great too. I find that was, being in LA, the majority of the women that I find that are more open to having a casual fling with no strings going on for a longer time are European women. Very interesting. I really want to know what it is about how Europe views sex. Because when I travel or when I meet women here, they're very open to sex. They're very open to the idea of having sex just for the sake of having sex. Whereas here we have this in America, we have this shame element that we add to our sexual encounters, especially towards women. Now we're starting to shame men, right? Because women have been getting pissed off for centuries of being shamed and slut shamed for enjoying sex and enjoying women, that now they're turning the lens on guys, which I think is stupid too, but I can see what's happening. But in America, I've noticed women have to play this game where they cannot come across as being a slut. They're just not allowed to be enjoying sex unless they are tied down with someone. And I personally think it's bullshit. And I think that men and women that slut shame other men and women for enjoying sex is just ruining our enjoyment of having as much fucking sex as we deserve to have. So yeah, European women I've met, very open to casual sex. They got no hang-ups about it. Like after the sex is over, they're just like, wow, that was fun. And let's do it again or not. Here, I find American women will play that game, but they deep down have this sort of shame element in them. Like they feel like they're going to be judged for it. And to me, I always thought it was only like in the Muslim communities that I came up with where people were that way. But I'm starting to find out it's very much an American thing, and it's passed down from our old Puritan start in this country, where these, Puritans came here with their Christian religious beliefs, and they just, had this shame element when it came to sex, as much as religious people do. And here we are in 2021 in America, where the idea of religion is sort of kind of crumbling, yet the dogma is still there, and that stigma. So I don't know. And even like when I was traveling, whenever I met European women when I was traveling, they were very open to having casual sex and not feeling like a slut after it. Like they could still go on with their day after that and still have the dignity to find another man to be in a relationship with. I really wish that we start doing that here in America. Because me being Arab and Muslim, I was really frustrated. Growing up in Dearborn, Michigan, I ended up only dating white girls growing up because the Arab girls, it was like playing with fire trying to date an Arab girl in 1990s Dearborn, Michigan, where you have these Lebanese people who had to flee Lebanon, moved to Dearborn, Michigan in the 80s, bringing their old school views about sex and how women are regarded in sex, which forced the women in my community to not be as free as they wanted to when it came to sex. And I hated that. I hated that so much. Like dating an Arab girl was always like I remember this one time there was this girl in high school. Hold on a second. I got to take a sip of this. In high school, she was Lebanese. There was words going around that, hey, if she likes you, she's gonna ask you to go down to the back stairs and she's gonna give you a blowjob. And I remember I was like, nah, come on, man. And she would like flirt with me a little bit after school here and there. And I was just like, man, like in my head, I was like, man, I heard you gave this guy a blowjob. I didn't say it to her, but in my head, I'm like, And then one day I had like track practice. I stayed after school. And this girl would stay after school specifically to be able to hook up with guys because her brothers weren't around or any of her family members. Not to mention what was scary is her house where she lived was across the street from the high school. So basically she was using the high school as her fuck palace. But these are the weird twists and turns that like these girls from these conservative backgrounds have to do to try to just get some normalcy in their life, just to try to have some type of connection with another man, to have sex or whatever. And then one day after school, she like walked up to me. No, her friend walked up to me and was like, something to the effect of like, Abir, she likes you and you should talk to her. She's over there. And I was like, okay. And then her friend left. Now the hallways are really empty. And I was like, hey, we were talking. She was like, hey, how's it going? And she grabs my hand and she takes me to the stairwell. The infamous stairwell that I was like hearing about. And I'm the type of guy, when I hear like people spread rumors of someone, I'm just like, nah, I don't believe that. That's some bullshit. It wasn't, man. This girl was so cute. She looked so innocent, but she wasn't. And then she took me to the back stairs and we started making out. And I remember another couple that were a Lebanese guy and a Lebanese girl that were dating were on track practice too, and they came up the stairwell and we had to stop for a minute, and then they left. And then she took me down to another stairwell that was kind of like, whoa, I didn't even know this stairwell existed. How the fuck did we get here? And she proceeded to give me a blowjob right there in the stairwell, and I couldn't keep my dick up. It was one of like the first times at that young age where I was just like, I couldn't get into it because like in my head, I couldn't help but go, yo, your brothers could be jumping out at any fucking second. Your dad is going to behead me. Everyone in the school's going to know. It was just too much stress. That's why I ended up dating like white girls, because white girls were just coming to Dearborn looking for Arab guys. I couldn't believe it. It was just like I was at a time where it was like, yo, man, being in Dearborn was easy. You didn't even have to leave Dearborn. I had to just go down 2 blocks from my house down to Warren Avenue, which was the main strip, and all these cute girls from Sterling Heights and Melvindale and Allen Park just driving up and down Warren Avenue, hoping to pick up an Arab roughneck. And that's why I started dating white girls, was because they were easier. And I don't say that in a negative way. I mean, they were just easier. It was just easier for me to engage and enjoy my time with these girls. And not only that, I would get these girls that would just, like, how's this? This is how strict my family was. My dad was way too strict. This is one of the reasons why I joined the Marine Corps, okay? This is the difference between Arabs and white people. And the overall point that I'm trying to make is the point that I was trying to make earlier about how my views of white Americans, or Americans in general, I thought were more liberal when it came to sex. And now I'm starting to find out, yet in this country, we still have these weird Puritan ticks in us that remind me of growing up in a Muslim community. So like, for example, how weird my family is. Prom, okay? I wasn't going to go to prom for high school. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. My boy Ahmed was dating this really, really cute blonde chick from Sterling Heights. And, you know, come on, man, we got to do prom. He's trying to like rally the troops. And I was just like, nah, dude, I ain't doing it. And then he goes, you know what, man? I'm going to hook you up with my girlfriend's cousin. She's really cute, man. And then he had her meet us up one time. She met us up in Dearborn, and she was cute. She was banging. And she thought I was cute. And she was like, yeah, I'll definitely go to your prom. And boom, now I guess I'm going to prom. And I remember when I went to go pick her up, my mom was like, Michael, when you pick up the girls, bring them here. I want to take picture. And I didn't want to do that, man. I just didn't want to deal with the awkwardness of my dad. You know, my dad was like a very strict, like just fucking real strict dude and awkward and shit. And I was like, I don't know if I wanted to do that, man, you know, because I was always trying to hide from my parents. I didn't want to show them my girlfriends or girls that I dated or whatever. We had to pick up our dates from Sterling Heights, which was about 20, 30 minutes outside of where we were, okay? Way in the burbs, where there's just nothing but white people, okay? Shiny white people. Now, being an Arab, I always thought, man, yo, you can't just go into a white girl's house as a dirty Arab and like try to take this girl to your prom. You know, in my head, I was thinking how Arab girls that come from really strict families, we call them jumpers. You know what I mean? These are the type of girls that they come from such strict families that they have to wait for the sun to go down. And then when everyone in the house is asleep, they jump out their fucking window to hook up with their boyfriend. And then they jump back in their window. And that's how I was thinking how, like, you know, these white girls were going to be. These gorgeous white girls. So I'm thinking we're going to get to Sterling Heights and we're going to like park 2 blocks away. And then they're going to come running down in their gowns and get in our cars. And we're going to peel out before their dad comes trying to burn a cross on our lawn. And I'm just like, no, that wasn't the case. We pulled up right in their driveway. And I was like, Ahmed, what are you doing? He's like, what, bro? We're going to pick up our dates. I'm like, we're just going to come here? He's like, yeah, we're just going to come here. I'm like, what the fuck? So we get there, we get out, and the door of the house opens, and we see 2 sets of parents. 2 parents. The parents of Crystal and then the parents of Amber, because they're both cousins. Both sets of parents were at this one house ecstatically waiting to greet us. These 2 greaseball Arabs from Dearborn with too much LA Looks gel in their hair. I put so much gel in my hair, I swear to God, my hair was bulletproof. Like if a bullet hit my hair, the bullet would bounce back and shoot you in the face. We were like Arab Fonzies in tuxedos. Too much cologne, obviously. So we get out, and these 2 parents came out and were like, hey, guys, what's going on? I'm Jim. This is Sarah. And that's Michelle. And this is Meow. And look at our dog. And yeah, come in. We've been waiting for you guys to come inside. And the 2 girls are gorgeous, looking great. I couldn't believe this shit. And then they were like, let's take a picture. Took a picture by the stairwell. Took a picture outside. The dad wanted to take a picture with me. Let's take a picture of you putting the corsage on her lapel and this and that. And oh my God, yeah, you guys are. And in my head, I'm like, these parents are way too excited about this. Like my parents aren't even that excited about me going to prom. And these white parents are way too excited about me taking their daughter to my fucking prom. So fucking confusing, bro. I couldn't believe it. The contrast. Then we got done meeting their parents and we drove back to Dearborn to go to the prom. But I told Ahmed, I was like, yo, man, we need to make a pit stop to my parents' house. Because my parents want to take a picture and my mom wants all this shit. So we get there. Now, if you don't know my mom and my dad, very serious guy. He's also funny too, everyone he wants to be. But very serious guy, domineering, kind of angry a lot of times. And my mom is the opposite. My mom is just a bright lady, full of sunshine, loves people, loves to converse, thinks everything's great, right? My dad was so strict, like he would make me come home at like 7 o'clock at night. When I was like 17, 18 years old. My mom was the type of person that was telling my dad, hey, let up, be easy on him. Otherwise, he's going to want to run away. Which ended up being true because I ended up joining the Marines. And I joined the Marines to get away from my dad. Anyways, we get there with the girls to my place, to my mom's house, my parents' house. Step out of the car, my mom right away. Oh my God, hi everybody, how are you? Oh, you look so beautiful. Michael, which one is your date? And da-da-da, da-da-da, and everything's great, right? And then my dad steps out on the porch. Like we're out in the driveway. My dad steps out on the porch. And I've always said this about my dad. My dad is the type of person, he changes the energy in the room as soon as he fucking walks in there. Like my dad is the type of guy that will, like as soon as he walks on that porch, he sucked all the color out of the world. Like now there's no more color in the world. And you can feel his energy. And he goes, okay, everybody, inside, come, inside. We come inside to the living room. He already placed all of the chairs that we have in the house in a big circle. And it was ghetto as fuck too, right? It was like 4 dining table chairs, 1 fold-out chair, 1 Archie Bunker type sofa chair, a milk crate. Makes us all sit in a circle, and there we are. Me, Ahmed, our dates, my mom, my sister, the cat. What the fuck is this meeting about? I don't know. So we sit there and my dad just stares at everybody for a really long time. It's very awkward. And then he goes, Michael, which one is your girl? And I'm like, oh, this is Amber. He goes, your name Amber, huh? Okay. Where are you from? And Amber nervously goes, Sterling Heights? Sterling Heights, okay. Your mother and father, they still married? Yeah, they're still married. And she looks at me, she's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, oh, okay. Let me ask you, Amber, what are you going to do with my son tonight? What? He literally said that. What are you going to do with my son tonight? Like I'm the daughter. Like I'm the girl. What are you going to do with my son tonight? She couldn't say a word. She was like, what? And my mom, just perfect, goes, okay, everybody, pictures. Let's go outside, pictures. Everyone goes outside to take pictures. My dad takes me to his room. He goes, Michael, you come here. I want to tell you something, okay? This girl here, she gonna try to have sex with you tonight. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, bro, that's the whole fucking point. I hope so. But to him, I was like, no, Michael, this is what the white people do. This is the prom. They try to have sex with you tonight. I want to let you know, we are Arab. We are Muslim. We do not do that. If you have sex with her tonight, you are going to hell. What the fuck is that shit, bro? Then he goes, out of nowhere, he goes, what time you be home tonight? And I'm like, 2 o'clock? Nope. You come home 9. 9? It's like 7:30 right now. 9? And then we like agreed to like midnight. We finally like landed on midnight. Fine, I can come home at midnight. Long story short, I didn't come home for 3 fucking days. Literally. Went to Cedar Point with this girl because I was like, if I'm going to get in trouble, I might as well just get in trouble. And didn't come for 3 days. And then me and my dad ended up getting into a fist fight. And that's when I joined the fucking Marines. But the point that I was trying to make about this, look at the stark contrast between my family and this girl's family. I'm a guy and my dad was treating my date like I was expecting her father to treat me, but I didn't get that. I got the opposite. The father was so excited that I was taking his daughter to some dirty Arab prom in Dearborn. Ecstatic. And my dad was all just like, ugh. So the point that I was trying to make in terms of like the whole slut shaming thing, I'm blown away that in this country, I am meeting women more and more that have that feeling of like everyone's watching them, everyone's judging them. And I just wish more and more women could just, enjoy sex the way a lot of European women are. And then like, just like I was saying, like I'm texting this one girl here who's trying to waste my time. And then, there's another girl that I met not too long ago, and we get to hook up every once in a while. She's Russian, and she's not dangling anything in front of me. She's not sitting there. I told her straight up what I wanted, and she's cool with it. We see each other once in a while, and the sex is great. And she's not trying to dangle this whole, hey, you need to show up, motherfucker, or you need to take me out to dinner sometime or whatever. She did hit me up one time and was like, hey, it would be nice if we can just hang out and then have sex. And I'm like, that sounds cool. If I'm really busy, I'm trying to find that time. But yeah, I just find it crazy that like in America, as progressive as we think we are, when it comes to sex, we're really not that progressive at all. We're not. We're just out here shaming each other, and we've been doing it so much to women for so long. Maybe not, and definitely not at the level as some like conservative communities, like Muslim communities do when it comes to women. Like if you go to Saudi Arabia or places like that, And that's much different in Lebanon, because not every Arab and Muslim country is the same. But I would just expect that to come from those type of people, right? Those dogmatic religious people. And it took me until now to really, really, really see the fact that we have that in our country. It's not as upfront and pronounced as it is, say, like in a Muslim community where you can see the oppression of some of these women in some of those communities. And of course, it's a case by case and family by family basis, but like you could see it usually out front. Like, oh, this is what's happening, right? The women here cannot be free to be whatever. Whereas in America, I'm noticing in the dating scene, the appearance from the outside is everything's progressive, everything is free. But deep down on the inside, everyone's worried about how they're being judged. And it just, to me, it completely fucks up sex. And I can't stand it. And that's why I wanted to share that story, because to me, it's like, I think the problems that we're having with dating are mostly here in America. Or what I'm saying is that the real dating issues that we're having are compounded even more here in America, because we do have this very weird view about sex, and I just wish we could just get over it, You know what? I'm probably going to save all this other stuff for the next podcast. I'm already been going on for an hour. But you know what? I was thinking about doing some more of these podcasts, especially when it comes to dating, because I don't know, sex and relationships really intrigues me. These last few podcasts that I've been doing that were solo were revolving around politics. I love talking about politics, about the world, about how dumb we are and how we approach things in a very stupid way. I love to focus on politics and about how easy it is for us to team up into these groups and then be manipulated. And I think I'm going to continue doing that, but I don't know what you guys think. I'm thinking about starting up another podcast, calling it Sleeping with the Yemeni, and having that specifically focus around dating, relationships, maybe something that can actually be sort of like a place for men and women to come together, but for the sole purpose of like having men understand more about women, because I think there's a big disconnect in how we engage with women, especially when we're immature. I think that like if younger men can try to learn the more mature way of viewing women, I think their engagement with women would be way more pleasing. Because if you know the terrain that you're going to navigate, it's much easier and smoother to navigate. But when you go in there not knowing or being ignorant into thinking that, why are women being like this? How come she's not calling me back? How come she's not? When you can see the road ahead of you, when you understand women, what makes them tick, I think for us men, it could make, it can make dating so much nicer for us, and in turn, make it so much nicer for the women. Because, women are rooting for you. They're rooting for you to not make it awkward and to show them a good time. And, no woman is looking for you to fuck it all up. There's one more thing I wanted to say before I took off. I love it how just before I take off, like more people keep showing up. But yeah, if you guys think that like Sleeping with the Yemeni, I might give that a shot. Either I start a whole new podcast or it's a segment of this podcast, but I think a whole new podcast, because everyone I was talking to out in the streets, whenever I told them the idea, just the name alone would make them laugh. I'm going to try to see if I can go over some of these. You guys were really in the comments, man, talking about some stuff. Jeremy Knox says, getting to know somebody without all the cloudy overhead or subconscious complexes. Well, I also got to get better at trying to go back and forth into these comments as I'm doing the podcast. I'm kind of getting into it. I just got into a real flow about talking about relationships and stuff. And at the beginning of the podcast, I hope you guys took something, especially the men here, took something from this in terms of engaging with women, you know, especially if you like meet them online and stuff, how to discern if the woman actually wants to meet you or not, and how to not waste your time. You know, at some point in the conversation when you guys are texting with each other, try to get them on the phone to talk to them. You really want to hear their voice, because the voice will tell you everything. If they're having a hard time talking to you on the phone already, I would just move on. Because if they can't even talk to you on the phone, I don't think they're going to meet you in person. But then again, hold on, I take that back. Some younger women, like if I meet really young women, like if I meet girls like they're 25 or, 28, millennials, some of them have issues with talking on the phone. They'd much rather meet in person. They'd rather text and then meet in person. I'm down for that too. So long as I'm not meeting them with the idea of I have to feed them, right? So typically on a first date, I try to see if the girl wants to meet me for something casual, like really quick. Meet me for coffee. You want to hang out at the beach. Sometimes, depending on the time of day, I'm like, hey, let's grab a drink. And then after like a drink or two, I can just tell if I'm gonna really vibe with this girl or not. And you will find out really quick if this girl really wants to see you. Because if the girl wants to see you, she will move heaven and earth to see you. She won't be playing this game like, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I have this thing tomorrow. Or, oh, I have a friend flying into town. Or I'm getting my leg amputated. Or whatever the case may be. A lot of the times, whatever they're telling you is some bullshit. Because, most people don't want conflict. Women specifically do not want conflict. They'd much rather give you an easy to swallow pill to have you bide your time long enough to hopefully maybe forget about them. But if she wants to see you, she's gonna see you, man. I promise you. And you got to remember that. And be assertive. Don't be pushy. Don't move too fast. You're going to want to text with them a little bit, see if you can gauge some rapport in text, and then ask for their number. Pretty soon. Be like, hey, texting ain't really the best. It'd be nice to hear your voice. Can we talk on the phone? She doesn't want to give her number out. Let's do a Zoom call. She doesn't want to do a Zoom call. Be like, hey, you down to meet for coffee? If she goes, how about you take me out to dinner on Friday? No. That girl is already trying to push you into paying for her food. Why do you have to feed someone to get to know them? Okay? And this is not about a cheap thing. It has nothing to do with cheap. Because I'll tell you what, man, nothing feels worse. I've learned this lesson before. Nothing is worse for me when I'm dating than to feed a woman and then to find out I fucking hate this person. And now I got to pay for their meal? I went on a date with this girl one time before I let you go. Online, she looked beautiful. When I met her in person, I wish I would have talked to her on the phone first because she was obnoxious. Her voice was so obnoxious. Like as soon as you heard her voice, if I talked to her on the phone, I can tell right away I don't like this girl. And you could tell right away she's the type of person who just wants to get something from someone, right? And I remember I was kind of desperate at the time. I was working on a show called Swamp People, producing this show, and it was kind of hard to find time to meet women, so I'm online dating, and then I matched with this girl, and I was like, hey, I have some free time around lunch. I'm going to take a little late lunch. You want to meet up with me? She was like, sure. So I looked for a spot around my place real quick, and there was this Italian restaurant where I was working by. And I didn't do my research to find out that it was like a $4 sign Italian restaurant. So she right away was like, hell yeah, right? I didn't even think about it. We get there. I sit down. She walks in. Her voice is so loud and obnoxious. It's like you could tell everyone in the restaurant's like fucking disrupted by her fucking loud ass, New Jersey, whatever fucking, oh yeah, like, fuck, man. So she comes and sits down, right? And as soon as she sits down, I could not stand her. And I remember I looked at the menu and I was just like, fuck the prices on this menu, man. And as soon as we started talking, I couldn't get a word in edgewise. Every time I would say something and start talking about something, she'd be like, blah, blah, ask a question about whatever. And then, blah, blah, talk about herself. And then, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like, ugh, I don't like this person. Then she opens up the menu. And I swear to God, I could just tell when I saw her. I was like, this girl is going to go straight for the most expensive thing on that menu. Sure enough, boom, the most expensive thing on the menu, some salmon dish, whatever, that cost like $55. Just right away off the bat. Didn't even like bat a lash. You know, I've dated with girls sometimes before where they'd be like, you know, oh, you know, I'll just have a little this or a little that or whatever. Not this girl. This girl straight up was just like, oh, hell yeah, this sucker just took me to a $4 sign restaurant. I'm fucking, you know, because she wasn't even thinking about whatever. She orders it. She goes. We start talking. I can't stand this girl, not to mention the amount of money I'm going to be paying on this shit. The whole time I'm trying to get to know her, and it's just impossible. She just keeps talking about herself, about frivolous shit. She just won't shut the fuck up. Then the waitress comes by, and I remember the waitress didn't like her either because she was very difficult and this and that, and oh, I wanted this, and do you have this? Can they do a little? It's just, she was just way too difficult. Then the bill comes out. And the bill comes out, and this is where I was really proud of myself. The bill comes out, and I go, can you split it? And the girl that I'm on a date with, she was like, excuse me? I'm like, what? Split it? And I'm like, yeah, can we split it? She's like, you're not going to pay for it? And I told her, I was like, look, I don't like you. Why would I feed you? And she got so fucking irate. And I remember the waitress walked away and she had this big smile on her fucking face. Like she was so happy to split the bill. But it was after that date where I realized, you know, don't get caught up in a woman's looks or whatever and think that you have to feed her to get her to like you. As a matter of fact, I find that if you do go on a date with this type of girl and you do feed her, you are no longer a prospect for someone that she can date. Now you're a vending machine for food. And she's probably not going to give it up to you. And she's probably going to hope that you are desperate for her attention, that you're going to take her out to another dinner. So don't fall into that trap, guys. Please, just don't do it. And I hope you've learned something from this. You know, just like with this girl right here, how she says, I'll put it on the screen. I mean, you can't see it. But yeah, so then that's when I was like, she's trying to get me to go on to dinner. And then I said, slow down. I'll feed you after I know I like you. Ooh, that's weird. And then I said, makes sense, right? Why would I feed someone I might not like? Let's FaceTime first. And she goes, so no text, no dinner, but FaceTime is okay? I'm saying text is drawn out, and it's hard to see if we like each other. It's a faster read on you in person or in FaceTime. And her last text is, this is a bit complicated. Maybe let's not. Boom. Bitches, I win. That is not a loss. That is a win. I still have my time to do what I want with it and actually find a girl that actually does want to come out. And this other girl that I'm talking to is very open to having a FaceTime with me later. And we'll see where it goes. And I'll keep you guys posted. And maybe I might even do more of these like relationship dating shows until I fuck up my life and get married. All right, guys. Next week, Wednesday, I believe. Remember, Wednesdays, 2 p.m. is when I go live no matter what. Right now, I'm open unless I book something. Like I said, stay on my Instagram, Mike from Detroit. Stay on my Facebook, Mike from Detroit. Stay on my Twitter, Mike from Detroit. I think I'm Mike from Detroit on Pornhub too. Just follow me. I'll let you know if the date changes. I'm looking to try to get a guest next week. We'll see who it is. I think that's it. I did enjoy talking about relationships. I think maybe I might start up another podcast, call it Sleeping with the Yemeni, and we'll see where it goes. Be nice to also get women on here. More women. I like talking to women. You know what I mean? I want to pick the brains of women, man, because I think the more we men engage with women and in our understanding of how they interface with the world, the easier it's going to make it for all of us to actually enjoy each other. So until next time, guys, I love you. Thank you so much. Deuces.
Public Yemeni #1.